I want to start by saying that all I know about my roommate is that she is a young lady in her 20s who works from home at late night hours, sleeps in the daytime, and is a very private person. The house I moved into was advertised on Craigslist as having an available room for rent in a 3-bedroom house, with the only rule being that I must respect my roommate's peace and privacy at all times because of her work. I am a single man in my 30s, and I myself work full-time in an office some 30 miles away from the house in the daytime, and I'm usually asleep at the late time she works, so I really didn't think anything of it. It seemed to work alright for me. I arrived and met the landlord. He lives elsewhere, and he gave me a brief tour of the house. I was immediately impressed with it. A 2-story, older model home in a decent neighbourhood. Relatively well maintained and with shockingly cheap rent. 3-bedroom, 2-bath home. My roommate occupying the master bedroom, which includes its own private bathroom and located upstairs at the end of a hallway next to an unused bedroom. During the walkthrough, my landlord suggested I take the bottom floor bedroom because it is larger than the one upstairs. It's next to the home's standalone bathroom, and I won't have to share a wall with another person, which increases the likelihood that I would respect the one and only rule of residing here. I don't disturb my roommates. Made sense to me. During the walkthrough, I could tell my landlord was anxious to rent the room. He mentioned a woman lived here for 2 months but suddenly terminated her lease without notice before moving out, which really disappointed him. I know there are questions people usually ask about a privately owned place before they move in, and in retrospect I can think of a few big ones, but I have all credit and have an eviction in my rental history. Most apartments declined me during the application process, and I was excited that this man was so eager to rent to me without requesting a background check. One question I should have asked is if he had an idea why the previous renter terminated her lease. Another question that I did manage to ask was if the other resident was home and if I would be meeting her. My landlord offered only small details like the ones I shared before about her work and quiet lifestyle, and told me her name is Elizabeth. I thought it was strange how quickly everything happened, but there I was, signing a lease with him out of desperation. I still know, that my options of other places to live are very limited. At the time of writing this, I've only lived here for a little more than a month. I'll add that. To this day I have never met, nor have I ever seen Elizabeth. There have been times, especially in the beginning, where I've texted my landlord asking him if he is sure that Elizabeth doesn't stay with a boyfriend half the time, or if he's sure she doesn't have some wild social life that keeps her away, if she has family nearby that she visits for periods of time, etc. I felt the need to ask him these things because, though we do live on separate levels, myself on the bottom floor, her on the top, I would imagine I'd hear her down in the kitchen fixing something to eat at some point. But I know she lives here because she moves things. I'll come home from work in the early evening, and she's nowhere to be seen, but my bedroom door is open. And there's my blanket from my bed. When I do, it's obviously one chair. Times where I walked into the kitchen and the table chairs are all moved out of place, as if several people had been sitting in them enjoying a meal together while I was gone. I don't use the table much. Right about now, you might ask, why don't you knock on her door? Show an effort to speak to her. I've done this. I've even knocked on her door late at night when she's supposed to be in there working. It gives me the creeps because I hear nothing. There is no light coming under her door. There is no sound whatsoever, and the door is always locked. Not even the kind of locked where it's just the doorknob. I've given it a gentle nudge, and it's clearly fastened shut by a separate bolt lock on the door. Leave a note for her, asking a question so she'll write a reply. I've done it. I taped it to her bedroom door where it couldn't be missed. I go back to look for it, and it's just gone. So she took it off her door but didn't do as was expected by writing a response to my question. I quit telling people in my real life about Elizabeth because their reaction always freaks me out. When I give them these details, they stare at me, waiting for me to tell them I'm only joking, but I never do. I've had people joke around with me that she's a spirit, and when I don't laugh with them about it, they get very serious and uncomfortable. When I lived here only a week, I had several co-workers tell me how strange it is that I still hadn't met my roommate. It's now been 6 weeks, and it would be embarrassing to say I still haven't, so I told them weeks ago that I met her and it's all normal and fine. Even as I write this, the feelings I actually have are rising to the top. The feelings that I have every day when I am on my way home from work. Will today be the day that I finally see her, and I can laugh with her about all this shit? Or will I come home to find all the kitchen cabinet doors and drawers open again for no reason? Yeah, that's right. Makes no sense for someone to do that, especially because nothing was even out of place, like she was searching for anything. They were all just different stages of a jar. Halfway open drawer here, completely swung open cabinet door there. What's me writing this now, just 2 weeks before the maximum amount of time that the previous renter could tolerate living in this house, is when she unexpectedly turned off the living room light when I was watching TV last night. Yeah, really, that's a new one. I was sitting downstairs where I am right now watching television. One light was on, the only source of light besides the TV screen, the switch to it located just feet behind me. Without hearing her come downstairs, I hear the switch click as it does, and the light shuts off, enveloping me in near complete darkness. I was so startled, I immediately popped up from the sofa and turned around to face nothing but faintly illuminated blackness, and I was able to catch a dark figure quickly moving away into the kitchen. I was horrified, and almost as an instinct, I called out, "Elizabeth?" And then that's when I heard fast footsteps running up the stairs above me. Not even logically close to where I saw that shape vanish to. I dashed for the light, turned it on, and briskly walked to my bedroom, where I locked my door before staying up all night staring at it in fear. I don't know what to do. I haven't contacted my landlord yet, but I have been considering it. I don't have anywhere else to go, but a motel sounds pretty good about that.